Hey guys, what is up? It's your boy Gabe, and this is the first ever MMA Space episode. We have the one, the only, all right, the man, the myth, the legend, MMA Twitter's favorite fighter, Matt, the Steamroller Frevola. Man, how are you, bro? How you doing today?
I'm doing good, bro. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great, but I'm tired, but I just gotta work, man. Like, just wanted to do this. Been excited all day to do this, man. But how does it feel, bro? You have a fight. Last time we saw you was in January.
Yeah.
Last time we saw you was in January, and now you have a fight in New York, your home state, and the greatest arena of them all, the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. How do you feel about that, man?
Dude, I feel great. I had that big win in January, and I wanted to fight this summer. I wanted to fight on that UFC Long Island, but that didn't work out. And but we got Madison Square Garden, so I'm pumped.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm surprised you didn't on Island. I thought that was a pretty good area for you at least. But hey, you can't go play with Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, man. We got MSG. We got an opponent who needs to get his ass beat, so I'm pumped.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you. So, for those who don't know, why the Mr. Potato Head?
So I was supposed to fight Ottman in January of 2021, almost 2 years ago, and I was in Abu Dhabi. He was in Abu Dhabi. We were in fight week. Everything was going good, and then the day of weigh-ins, this guy cuts his wristband off. There was a whole COVID protocol. There was a bubble, so he cut his wristband off. He gave it to one of his friends, and they went out of the bubble, and they got something in a bag, and then this guy starts scaling balconies to get this bag to Ottman, and then the UFC catches him and then cuts Ottman that day. So who knows, man, who knows? And they never revealed what was in the bag. And then his manager Ali came out and said that it was potatoes. So I'm just messing around with him, calling him Mr. Potato Head,
That's pretty fire, yeah. Because I saw the reveal. Dude, I started laughing, man. That shit was hilarious. So one of the things that I would say MMA fans love about you is the fact that you interact with your fans. I'm not gonna lie to you. Ever since I've seen you interact with fans, I've seen a lot more fighters interact with their fans, a lot more. Now, I'm not saying you're a trendsetter, but ever since you started this, bro, it's been going on. How do you feel about this?
Dude, it feels great. I'm gonna give the credit to my brother. I actually got a twin brother, and he's been telling me to get on Twitter. He's Cheesy McFreshington. We call him Cheese, the cheese roller, and he's been telling me get on Twitter. And I was like, man, I've got enough on Instagram. I just do everything on Instagram. But finally, I caved in, and I was like, all right, I'll do it. Let's get on Twitter, and started interacting with the fans and just talking with everybody. And I mean, it's even weird calling them fans. These are I'm just a regular dude. It's weird to even say that I have fans. If you support me and you ride with me, I look at you as family, man. And just interacting with everyone and talking with everyone, it's really it feels great. I didn't realize so many people actually care about watching me fight.
Oh yeah, dude. I think part of it, because I've noticed it with the MMA fan base, is that the more you interact with us, the more we care about you, the more we're gonna get behind you, and that's, you're literally doing it because I like the whole you're letting even fans pick your next walkout song. That's incredible. If you don't mind me asking, out of I'm pretty sure you've done hundreds of songs. Which one's the top one right now?
Oh yeah, man. I opened that playlist on Spotify, and everyone's just been putting these bangers out. So now it's whenever I'm working out, I'm just listening to that, picturing a MSG walkout, and it's fucking great. Everyone's got putting on good songs, and we got a lot of good options.
Do you I'm gonna suggest my own. I don't know if anybody's put this there, but do you like Mobb Deep?
Yeah.
I'm guessing you've heard the song "Shook Ones" Part 2.
Yeah, is that the main Mobb Deep song? It's boom boom boom.
That is the craziest walkout song. I literally have told myself that once I get in the fight, that's gonna be one of my walkout songs for a fact. That shit is so intense.
That goes hard.
Yeah, man. And what else can I say, dude? Oh, by the way, for anybody who's watching this who doesn't know, Matt actually sent me a signed picture and like in gloves. And by the way, man, I'm not even gonna lie to you, that's the coolest shit anybody has ever done. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. It was truly appreciated. Like, I truly enjoyed it.
No problem, man. You know, we all got to start our journey somehow, and you know, helping you start out your journey, you know, it feels good, man. And that's what we got to do in this community. We got to help each other.
No, right on, man. And speaking about journeys, you completed Dana White's Contender Series, and you probably got this question a lot along the way. How was that feeling to get told you're in the UFC?
Dude, it was unreal. You know, it's like when I started, that was always the goal. You know, I want to fight in the UFC. Like most of these guys starting out fighting. You know, I was an amateur coming up in the ranks. That was always the goal, get to the UFC. And then I went pro, and I won my first 5 pro fights, and I get the call to the Contender Series. And this was 5 years ago now, and it was the first season of the Contender Series. So people didn't even really know what it was. And you know, I got to go to Vegas, and I got to go to like the UFC PI and do all that. And that was like my real like first taste of the UFC, you know, but I still had to go to the Contender Series and handle business. And, you know, I went to the Contender Series, had a great fight, got a big finish, and Dana White signed me that night. It was unreal.
And not only did you get Dana White's signature, if it's like on, but you also got to hang out with Snoop Dogg.
Yeah. It was so cool.
You did everything. You lived out your dream, and you lived out so many thousand people's like bucket list. You know what it is, what I would do to hang out with Snoop Dogg?
I know, right, man? He's the man, yo. And to get to like go back to on UFC Fight Pass and like watch one of my fights with Snoop Dogg commentating it was pretty sweet, man. He's a funny dude, you know. He's got a lot of good one-liners commentating my fight, and it was pretty sweet.
Yeah,
my cat's easy.
I love cats, man. Like yeah. I used to have 2 when I lived back in Miami. I had to move back out, and it was a black cat just like that, but I lost him. But God, he's so cute.
Yeah, it's Mace Windu.
Well, his or her name?
His name's Mace Windu.
Mace Windu, that's fire. That's fire. My cat's name used to be Sage, and total crackhead. That man would keep me up to like 4 a.m. just him running around. Total crackhead.
Yeah, it's like Mace.
But besides that, I know you also had a teammate recently in the Contender Series. How was that? How does it feel to see one of your teammates go up the ranks and also get signed? Like, how was that feel?
Dude, it was awesome, man. Because Nazim Sadikov, the Black Wolf, dude, he's a beast, as the world knows now. But just seeing him in the gym sparring that kid, yo, he's fucking good. And you know, just sparring him that whole camp, I was like, bro, go in there and hit this guy as hard as you hit me, and you're gonna be in the UFC. And you know, he went in there, he got it done. And kind of, you know, watching him go through the same thing that I did, you know, I did the same thing he did 5 years ago. I went to the Contender Series and I got to the UFC, and being able to help him, you know, accomplish his goals and reach his dreams, you know, it's great. And that's what it's all about. Like we said before, you know, helping others, you know, and it only helps you, and it helps everyone around you.
So one of the questions that I have really is, if you could go back to say your amateur days, what is something that you would tell that young Matt in the amateurs?
I always say this: if I could go back to the amateurs, I would have done amateur boxing too. You know, I'm starting to fall in love with the sweet science of boxing, and you know, coming up, I was a wrestler in high school, and then I started doing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Matt Serra. And, you know, I was a grappler first. I started competing in, you know, Nagas and submission tournaments. And then I had my first fight, and it was an amateur MMA fight. And then I had 8 amateur MMA fights, and I had 1 amateur Muay Thai fight. And then I went pro. And once you go pro, you can't go back to do amateur boxing. You know, once I went pro in MMA, you know, if I wanted to box, I'd have to box pro. So, you know, if I could go back, I would have done some amateur boxing. I would have loved to done like the Golden Gloves. You know, I think that's a real prestigious tournament that I would have loved to do.
So speaking of grappling, I know you did high rollers a couple weeks ago. How did that go?
Bro, high rollers was the best event I've ever been to. It was like the coolest atmosphere. You know, it was like a party, but then everybody was like competing like hard as hell. You know, it was great. It had that like awesome competitive, you know, jiu-jitsu grappling, but then it was like outside the cage. You know, they had a great cage there. And then outside that cage, you know, everyone's walking around smoking blunts. You know, they had like a dab bar. You can just walk up and like hit a dab. They had this like leaf blower that they were just pouring weed in, and it was just like shooting smoke out into people's faces. It was fucking sweet.
Dude, that's sick, man. They're like, I think that they came to Miami once. It was about a couple years ago, and I knew like one of the guys that was competing. It was like my old gym, and I'm not gonna lie, I missed his match because I was like smoking with the other competitors. Everybody, it's such a great atmosphere to be in, and like I want them to grow bigger. It's just I know with like the whole legalization of marijuana everywhere, it's just tough to get stuff out there. Because I think when they did it, it was at a warehouse. When I went,
yeah, I was in Vegas, and it was at the High Rollers headquarters, and they got a sweet setup there, man. They got like an awesome mat space. They got an awesome cage. And it, like I said, man, it was the coolest event I've ever been at. And there was a lot of big names there too, you know, like Jessica I was commentating. Stephan Bonner was there commentating. And then since I was competing, I was, you know, my teammate Aljamain and Aljo and Merab pulled up, and then Aljamain walks in and he's like, yo, this is sick. Like, I want to compete. And then like he was kind of just like joking around, like, I want to compete. And then we were talking, we were with like one of the head guys there, and he was like, oh yeah, you know, Aljo, you want to compete? We'll find someone for you to compete. And then just randomly they found like one of the best black belts there that was also competing. They just like on the fly set up a super match, like Aljamain versus one of those guys, and Aljamain went out there and beat him. It was fucking sick.
That is so sick. Also, yeah, speaking of Aljamain, dude, how does it feel to have him around the gym? Like, I wonder what it's like to have a champion. That atmosphere. Like, what does that motivate you? Does that help you grow as a fighter? Like, what does that do actually?
Dude, no doubt it does. And just being in Long Island, Serra-Longo, you know, being around Matt Serra, being around Chris Weidman, you know, watching these guys, you know, reach the pinnacle of the sport and winning the world titles. And then knowing that they grew up, you know, on Long Island just like me, and seeing them do it, and then really watching Aljamain's journey, you know, throughout the UFC, you know, and reaching where he is now, champion of the world. It's just makes me believe, like, you know, I can do it too. Why not me?
No, that is what I love to hear. I love when fighters say that, because it makes me want to root for them more. Like, I want you guys to all be champions. It sucks, not everyone's gonna be a champion, but I love when fighters believe in themselves. It makes me, it's like a feel good story. Because look, one day you're having this interview with me, and who knows, maybe down the line you'll be a champion, and we get to look at this interview and we can say, look how far you came. And that is something that I hope and wish for you. I truly do, man. It's going to be a great journey for me.
I appreciate that, man. And it all starts at MSG November 12th. One fight at a time, baby.
What can we expect that beautiful night at MSG?
I'm going to finish this guy. You know, he's good. You know, I respect his talent. You know, he's 13-0 with 11 knockouts. You know, never been beat. But guess what? The last guy I fought was 10-0 with like 9 knockouts. You know, all these guys are going to be good. but they have never been tested like I'm gonna test them. And I think that Ottman's pretty one-dimensional. He's a heavy-handed boxer, and he's a righty. You know, I fought many guys like that, but he's never fought anyone like me.
You know, dude, that is what we love to hear, man. I cannot wait for this fight, man. Like, one of the things that I do want to do with you is, because you're my first interview, and again, thank you so much for taking this. I know it's a small account, big name, and again, thank you so much. So one of the things I want to do, and I thought it was a good idea, I want to humanize you. I want the people to know you outside of fighting. Like, what is it that you like to do outside of fighting? What are certain hobbies you have?
Man, I'm a Long Island kid, you know. I grew up over here, you know. I'm on the water all the time. I'm out on my boat. I'm playing sports, you know. I've always been an athlete. I love football. I love baseball. You know, I played lacrosse all growing up too. You know, I play flag football with my buddies. You know, we're rooting big for the Mets. I bleed blue and orange. And the Mets, you know, this is our year. I see you shaking your head. This is our year, baby. You can't even deny that.
I don't even want to talk about the Mets. I don't want to speak, because the Yankees just lost the series to the Yankees. And
they're great too, man. I'll give it to them. They're good.
Yeah, I mean, this year, but the Yankees disappoint me. It's like a shitty relationship we have. Very toxic. One day we're doing this, you know, October comes and I'm being left outside my house crying, but it's okay. But besides that, one of the things that I hope this is not too personal. I wanted to ask, who do you fight for, and why do you fight? Like, what gives you that motivation of, this is why I do it in the end?
You know, I fight for my family. I fight for everyone who believes in me. You know, I fight for myself. You know, I want to be successful in life, and this is what I dedicated my life to. You know, I've been training for over 10 years. This is what I love to do. I'm a martial artist at heart. You know, I don't just train for a fight. You know, I train for myself. You know, if I got to go a week without training, I feel like something's wrong. You know, I'm going crazy. If I can't train, I go crazy. And it really it equals me out. It balances me, and really, you know, that's why I fight. That's why, you know, that's why I train. And you know, I'm in the prime of my life right now. I've been fighting for over 10 years, you know, and I'm gonna make the most out of my window of competing, you know. And even after I'm done fighting, I'll continue to train. I'll be that like 50, 60-year-old guy in a gi on the mats, you know, helping the young guys. And again, you know, my team, you know, I love being there for my team, helping my team, because, you know, I would be nowhere without them. So, you know, that's it.
Honestly, I love that answer. I love knowing that even after fighting, you still see yourself in that gi rolling around. Have you ever thought about competing in like jiu-jitsu tournaments, like outside? Like, I know I think it's that Fury.
Yeah.
Have you competed or want to compete in Fury?
I would love to, man. I actually went with my boy Billy Q. Billy Q had a match against Clay Guida like a while back, and I got to go with Billy Q and see that. You know, they put on a great show, man. They packed that place out. It's a great stage, and I definitely want to compete for that. And when I'm done fighting, I will definitely keep competing in jiu-jitsu and grappling and stay busy, you know.
Yeah, because some of the things that I like as a fight fan, a lot of people actually don't know this. Like, some people think I've been watching MMA for years. I actually started watching it 2 years ago. Like, it was during the pandemic. Like, my favorite fight of all time, the fight that got me hooked, was the Shang versus Joanna, the first one. Dude,
oof, that was a bang.
After that fight, dude, I had to go back. I learned right now. So, and I have my first Muay Thai tournament in literally 24 days. I'm actually cutting weight right now.
There you go, bro. You living the life. I love Muay Thai. I love it.
Did you ever get a chance to go to Thailand by any chance?
I did. I've been to Thailand 3 different times. It was always a dream of mine once I started training to go to Thailand and learn Muay Thai from the motherland. And I got to go after my first pro fight. I was 1-0 as a pro, and I was like, all right, I'm doing it. And I went to Thailand. I actually linked up with Sean Fagan. He's the Muay Thai guy on like social media or whatever. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, he's a good dude, man. And he was actually doing this like training camp in Bangkok, and I just hit him up, and I was like, hey man, it's always been like a dream of mine to go to Thailand, and I see you're doing this. And he was like, yeah, come on. And he kind of helped me, you know, figure everything out. And I went out there alone, man. I was out there for a month in Bangkok, and I was out there, and then I went to Phuket for 2 weeks. So I was out there for 6 weeks, and it was life changing. You know, out in Thailand, Muay Thai is a way of life. You know, it's like as soon as I got there and I get picked up by a Thai like taxi driver, and I'm like, yeah, I'm here to train Muay Thai, and they're like, oh, Muay Thai, oh yeah, Muay Thai, like they love you, like they love that the foreigners like travel there, especially for Muay Thai. It's their pastime, you know. They're known for it, and they love people coming to learn it, and it was 100% life changing. And I always say it was like a hyperbolic time chamber. I don't know if you're a Dragon Ball Z fan, but it like I went there for 6 weeks, and it was like I had like 2 years of training just in those 6 weeks out there. It was unreal.
Yeah, that is so sick. Like that is also one of my dreams. I want to go to Tiger.
Like, yeah.
That's like a dream of mine. Even if it's just for one training session, I just want to know what it's like to go to the motherland and just train with all these monsters, man. Because like
you will.
Like, I hope so, man. I really do. Like I know you spent some time here in Florida. You were in Tampa, I believe.
Yeah. I went to University of Tampa, and I graduated from there, and I lived down there for about 6-7 years, and trained with Matt Arroyo and Billy Q, and I had a great time down there. Tampa's a great spot, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, of course, you probably spent your time at Ybor.
Yeah, man, Ybor's a good time.
Yeah, no, I wanted to ask because I know I saw you went to the University of Tampa, and I'm not even gonna lie to you, completely outside of MMA. I was like, every time I passed by the University of Tampa, I was like, dude, this school looks boring as hell.
Right? Did you walked around that campus at all?
No, I would see it from the outside, and I saw like those. I don't know what the actual, but you know, like that weird building that's like shaped like.
Yeah, they call them.
Yeah, I was looking. I'm like, dude, how the hell do people go here? Like, it just looks boring from the outside. So
walk around that campus. You got to walk around that campus, and you'll see why I went there. It's just dime piece after dime piece after dime piece.
Okay, man, I went to FIU, man, in Miami. I'm telling you right now, what? Apparently, I don't have Zoom Pro, so we got like 10 minutes before they end this.
We can do another one, bro.
Of course, man. But besides that, man, I just want to say thank you so much for taking this interview. Again, I know my account isn't really big, but again, I really appreciate it. It is great to have you be my first episode right here, man.
Yeah, man, no problem. You know, we could talk a couple times throughout camp. You know, I'm about 10 weeks out now, so you know we could keep doing checkups on my camp, and yeah, man, it'd be good.
Besides that, talking about camp, how is it? How are you feeling right now? What are your biggest strengths, if you want to say them in camera right now, that you've acquired throughout this camp?
You know, honestly, I've been training. You know, I really officially start camp like next week. Next week is like 10 weeks out, so I'll start that. But I've been just helping my teammates get ready. You know, like Nas, I've been sparring Nas, getting him ready. Before that, I was sparring Charlie Campbell. He was on the Contender Series. I was sparring him, getting him ready. And then even before then, I was helping out Dennis Bazooka. He was another guy we had on Contender Series. And then, you know, at Law MMA, we just have killer after killer after killer. And they all got fights coming up. They all need sparring partners. So they hit me up. And I tell them all, I'm like, whoever needs this work, hit me up. And we get after it.
All right, man. Well, I don't want to take up any of your time. I know it's like I think we're on the same time. It's like 8:35. You're probably tired as hell from your day, man. But I'm gonna let you go. Again, thank you so much for taking this interview. It's truly an honor. And everybody watching this, catch this fight November 12th. We're getting a finish and join the Steamroller Fever. All right.
Yeah, let's go and let's talk in a couple weeks. I'll let you know how camp's going.
Of course, man.
All right, good shit, bro.
All right, man.